Well, good morning, everyone. Once again, welcome to another live here this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. We certainly are. Have you had your vitamin C yet? You haven't? Come on. Hey, let's say hello here to a few friends as before we get going. Brahim from Portland, Oregon, and Mike from Norland. Surprise, surprise. Andrea, Niagara Falls. Good morning to you. Manette, how are you? And Lori Lee, Ventura, California. And Tina. And Nativity. Good morning to you. Susan, Bowmanville. And Frances Marie, good morning. Nick from our staff. Kevin, Oshawa. And Mary from Norwich. And Nina from Chatham, Kent. Wendy, Markham. And Laurie and Ryan, Sarasota, Florida. Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Keith, good morning to you. Doris, Kitchener. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls, well represented. And Dave, Muskoka. Laurie from Niagara Falls, my word. Fran, Orangeville. And I missed, you see, it goes up into that cloud. Chantal, Ottawa. Francis Vaughn, good morning. And Yvonne, Petawawa. And Nancy, Gore's Landing. Donna, Newfoundland. And Sue, good morning. Manitoulin Island. Etta, good morning. Thanks for coming on, guys. Milika from Stouffville, Yelland. And Carol, Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Gloria from New York. And another Donna. Connie, how are you? Rita, Wasaga Beach. Veronica. And Donna from Park Hill. And see, I missed Sharon. Kansas. Cheryl. Who did I miss, guys? Jeanette from our staff. Sherry from Mississauga. Gary from Bolton. And Rita, good morning. Karen, how are you? Betty Lynn, Brantford. Rosa, Morial. I'm going to say hello to Nativity because she says I never say hello to her. Cecilia. And Mariette. And Doc McEwen, even though I don't see your name. Marcia. Hola from Mexico. Nellie. Janie. Simcoe. Maureen. Penticton, British Columbia. Bright and early. And another Wendy said I missed her. Janice. Brampton. Carol. Moncton, New Brunswick. Two more. Barbara. How are you? And Marilyn from Edmonton. Oh, Bonnie, I'm saying hello to you too. Okay. And Margie from Kansas. Okay, I want to go over a few studies. Here's one, brand new one on, actually three brand new studies on vitamin D. Okay. Well, our, what would I say? FDA, Health Canada, Big Pharma. There's a war on vitamin D. I've told you guys this for the last few years. Like, it's really becoming a real war. And I just can't get over it. Like, in a sense that if it's the powers to be have their way, vitamin D, they make it out to be, you gotta be careful because it's toxic. Three new studies again, and let me just bring them to you. The importance of vitamin D, for the first one is on vertigo. Isn't that something? You know, we see a lot more vertigo today than we used to. Like, I mean, it's not like I never saw vertigo in my practice. I did a lot, but a lot more. And what this study is saying, people that get vertigo generally, not always, but generally are very low in vitamin D. The sun. Who knew? Low levels of vitamin D. I was talking to someone yesterday and I said, you know what? It's worthwhile spending some money. I know you shouldn't have to do it, but because the world out there doesn't understand the importance of vitamin D, get your vitamin D levels checked at least once or twice a year. Find out where they're at, because a lot of people that get fooled, I think my vitamin D levels are good. Listen, what study after study has shown that vitamin D needs to be optimized for many things, and now they're saying vertigo. A lot of people with vertigo have low levels of vitamin D. You know what another one is? I don't know, it's not surprising to me because I know what vitamin D does. Erectile dysfunction, ED, low in vitamin D. Again, what does that sun do for you? And if you can't see the sun, take a supplement of vitamin D. What does it do? Vitamin D is not just a vitamin, it's a hormone. And these hormones work together. The sun. One thing the sun does, when it hits your skin, it elevates your levels of nitric oxide. That opens up your blood vessels. And nitric oxide, by the way, is very important for your immune system. But when it comes to circulation, vitamin D is important because it elevates your nitric oxide. Why do you think you feel so much better in the sun? Why is it on a sunny day, even in the winter, your mood is better? Vitamin D plays an important role in all of these things. 3 new studies, one on vertigo, the other one on how effective it is in erectile dysfunction, and the third one is, listen to this, okay? This is, when the world doesn't do stuff, but there are researchers that do things. So what they did, here was a study on coronary bypass surgery. So before they had, when you have blockages and they want to do a coronary bypass surgery, okay? They split that chest wide open. And, I'm not against that if that's going to save your life. But listen to what they did, okay? And this was a fairly large study done. They gave, before the surgery, okay, they're going to have bypass surgery. They gave patients 150,000 IUs, okay? Now, if you listen to the world out there, they want to give you 1,000 IUs of vitamin D. Yeah, we'll give you that, okay? In a prescription in Canada. That's what they're talking about. I'm not kidding you. It's the craziest thing in the universe is how low that is. 1,000 IUs are they're for mice, not for you, okay? But listen to this. They gave 150,000 IUs a day for 3 days before surgery. Here's what they found. Heart cell death was significantly reduced. These patients recovered faster. The damage done, even by, surgery is very, that's a very traumatic surgery. They found that these patients compared to patients that didn't get 150,000 IUs a day for 3 days. If you think, guys, that vitamin D is toxic, I can't help you. And they want to restrict it so badly. Here's what they found, okay? This is studies that I talked about 20 years ago, okay? In order to be toxic, and that's where you would possibly get a kidney stone. Listen to how much vitamin D you'd have to take, okay? 50,000 IUs a day, every day, 7 days a week for 6 months. Well, who does that? And remember, when you get in the sun, 20 minutes, you get 10,000 IUs. How could that be toxic? 20 minutes. You get 20,000, you get 10,000 IUs in 20 minutes. And when you get in the sun, by the way, your vitamin D is taken in at the rate that you need it. That's why, look, I wrote a book, Sun, Steak, and Steel. Like the sun. Okay? The sun. We can't live without it. Leave it to the elites. They're going to start blocking the sun. Oh, I get a headache. I get a migraine. So 3 new studies, okay, on vertigo. We see a lot of that today. Erectile dysfunction. We see a lot of that today. I used to see that in the office all the time. And this was just one done. I'm telling you, they should do this on every surgery. Before getting any surgery, they should give 150,000 IUs a day. I remember a Dr. Rona in Toronto did a study with people that were on a ventilator and injecting, with pneumonia, 50,000 IUs a day for 7 days, compared to the ones that didn't receive it. The results were incredible. Incredible. But there's a war going on, so you guys got to know this. Don't wait for the world to accept these vitamin D studies. Okay, so I did this one. Okay, magnesium. Let me just give you one brand new study on magnesium with 1 million people. Okay, let me just get it here so that I don't misquote it. Hold on. Typical of me. Okay? It's this way, not that way. Magnesium. Okay? 1 million people, they followed. And if your magnesium levels were elevated, you had a decreased risk of stroke, heart failure, diabetes, and all-cause mortality. I love magnesium. When you hear the word magnesium, I always say the word relax. Okay? Relax. And it relaxes your blood vessels. It decreases stress. And new studies, increased magnesium in your body is associated with a decreased risk of stroke, heart failure, decreased diabetes, and all-cause mortality. 1 million people followed. Okay? People ask, okay, what kind of magnesium? The best magnesium is the kind that are chelated. Chelated means it's ready to be absorbed. Much more bioavailable forms of magnesium. I've always loved citrate, okay, and biglycinate. And the reason, when you see that ATE at the end, it's been chelated. Your body absorbs it better. Good for you, okay? And most people, they don't realize it. They're low in magnesium. Magnesium's not in the soil anymore. So you're not getting it necessarily from your foods. I'm big on magnesium. I've always loved it. Anybody that ever came to my office, when in my days of practice, magnesium was one of my go-tos. I love it. Magnesium citrate, biglycinate, to me are the best forms of those chelated magnesium. Okay? So I talked to you about magnesium, a 1 million case study. Okay? This is a study done on colon cancer, okay? Brush your teeth, or you could get colon cancer, and they're blaming one kind of bacteria. It's called leave it to Latin, Fusobacterium nucleatum. It's a bad bacteria. Apparently, okay? Look, I remember, got to be 40 years ago, that they were saying, dentists were saying, there was a connection between bacteria in your mouth and heart disease and myocarditis, because it would travel through the bloodstream and attack your heart. That was 40 years ago, guys. Okay? And of course, they were talking about, cavities and bacteria that gets in. And, somebody asked me what I think of root canals. Not much. You should avoid as much as possible because it becomes a breeding ground for bacteria. Now, okay, so this study said there's a certain bacteria that apparently can be a big factor in colon cancer, and it's called Fusobacterium nucleatum. Ooh. And they're saying, well, brush your teeth. And guys, I talked about this yesterday. Use oil of oregano. You can rinse with it. You can brush your teeth with it. Okay? And the reason I like oil of oregano, okay? Put a couple of drops on your toothbrush and then, use a toothpaste, preferably natural. Okay? I don't really like fluoride. But what the oil of oregano does, okay? And like I said, for 40 years, because when dentists were talking about, a bacteria getting into the bloodstream and attacking the heart especially the sac of the heart, the pericardium, you could get pericarditis or, what's the other one? The other heart thing I just mentioned a while ago. Okay, anyway, so I used to tell people that long ago, well, use oil of oregano. It is tremendous because God gave us a natural antibiotic, a natural antifungal. A lot of people, they don't realize they have not enough friendly bacteria in their mouth and too much bad bacteria. And don't use mouthwash. It's killing. Mouthwash is like an antibiotic. Yeah, it'll get rid of bacteria, all right, but it kills your good guys too. I don't like it, especially alcohol-based mouthwashes. Terrible stuff. Don't do it. Use natural oil of oregano. It only kills the bad guys. Okay? It only kills the bad guys because it's a natural antibiotic. I like it on the toothbrush. Okay, I mean, it's so good. You can swish with it if you want. Spray and pray. It's strong stuff. Oregano is strong, but it's good for you. And it's going to kill that Fusobacterium nucleatum. Okay? It's going to kill that one. And they're linking it to colon cancer. Now, I'm going to tell you the biggest cause of colon cancer is not the Fusobacterium nucleatum. Okay? It ain't. It may be a factor, but it's not the main cause. You know what the main cause of colon cancer? Why do we see so much colon cancer today? Okay? Yeah, the microbiome destroyed by antibiotics. Sugar, feeding yeast, feeding fungus in the gut. It's an invasion of the Trojan horse. And the greatest discovery of the 20th century has become the curse of the 21st. I love antibiotics. I do. I mean that. If you need an antibiotic, it can save your life. But you better replace that with probiotic. And I've been consistent about that for my grandchildren say centuries. Okay? Grandpa, what century were you born in? Okay? If I'd have known grandchildren are that much fun, we'd have had them first. Okay? They just, I have more fun with them. Oh, my word. And they keep me humble. Like, Grandpa, you're so old. Yeah, I know. Okay. Got the memo? Use oil of oregano, my friend. And if you have to take an antibiotic, you make sure you replace that bacteria. And you need to double up probiotics if you have to take an antibiotic. And do it for at least 30 days to replace that bacteria that's lost. Probiotic bacteria are on your side. Okay? Oil of oregano. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, and one more study that I have time for this morning. We're going to go to, hold on a minute. Oh, here it is. I think I could do a whole program on this, but 2 new studies on cancer came out. So actually 3, because of this one with colon cancer and the link to oral health. Okay, that was one. There are 2 more. Global cancer rates. I read this yesterday, I think. Global cancer rates are to jump 77% by the year 2050. A new study suggests. Well, guys, I ain't going to be here in 2050. Okay? But when they look down the road, these researchers, their prophecy looking at the future is not rosy when it comes to cancer. It's very dim. And I don't disagree with them. Okay? There's a lot of reasons for it. But one of the biggest things, I think, one of the biggest challenges that we have in cancer is that the powers to be are only interested when you get cancer. All of our money that we spend, okay, on cancer has nothing to do with preventing it. It has everything to do with treating it once you get it. Okay? Like when the Canadian Cancer Society comes and knocks at my door, knock, 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 I feel sorry for people. Who doesn't want to beat cancer? But when they knock on my door, I give them a little bit of, I say, hold on now. If I give you this, okay, let's say I give you $100. Where does that money go? And they look at me like I got two heads. Oh, research. Not really. Okay? It doesn't. Okay? It goes to marketing and salaries. Guys, one thing about Canada, you can Google this and look at the financial statements from the Breast Cancer Society because they're, they can give you a tax receipt. Okay? Look at their financial statement. Nobody does, but they should. Okay? 90-something% salaries and marketing. Less than 10% on research, and just try and get, I'll give you an example. Vitamin D. Okay? Nobody makes money from vitamin D. But people that I know, researchers that I know, applied for grants with the research, the Canadian Cancer Society and the American Cancer, some of my colleagues who study vitamin D tried to get money to study it. Are you kidding me? They don't get money from the cancer societies to do research. Big pharma. They get the money if there's any money left after salaries and marketing. That's why I'm not big, guys, on giving. I really don't like giving money to where they're not going to do research. And the reason that we have these crazy statistics, imagine if it's true. Global cancer rates to jump 77% by 2050. Are we winning the war on cancer? Talk to any 99.9% of physicians. And I mean that. Ask them if there's any link between cancer and nutrition, and they'll look at you like you got two heads. What's food got to do with cancer? You go to an oncology department and they feed you sugar. Here, have some Boost because it'll boost your cancer. Have some Ensure because it's going to ensure that you die from this cancer. You're feeding it. I've been screaming. John the Baptist in the wilderness. Stop eating sugar. Sugar feeds cancer, not steak. Red meat. No, sugar. Quit drinking it. Don't drink sugar, whatever you do. Crying in the wilderness. Do I expect the world to change? No, I don't. I'm not optimistic. There's too much money to be made. And I'm not saying oncologists aren't good people. I'm not saying that at all. But they don't get trained in nutrition for 1 minute. Not even a minute. So what do you think? I told you, I've had conversations with oncologists. Dr. Martin, what has sugar got to do with anything? I said, how does your PET scan work? You give glucose to a patient? Yeah, and I said, if they have cancer, it lights up like a Christmas tree. Hello? Your PET scan, it's not for your pets, by the way. It's imaging for cancer. If you got cancer, you light up like a Christmas tree, but you got to drink glucose before you get in the machine. Like, hello? You guys get it, but they don't. That's why I'm not optimistic. I'm a realist. Take care of yourself. You do it. That's health today. You do it. Take care of yourself. And try and influence people if you can. You can bring horses to water, but you can't necessarily make them drink it. Right? And you're never a prophet in your hometown. That's what Jesus said. Okay. Okay, guys. We love you, and I mean it. Thanks for putting up with my shenanigans, okay? We got some more studies there. Didn't get to all of them, but I tried, okay? And Friday is question and answer Friday. Please send us in your questions. We enjoy it. Thank you. We love you guys for that. Love you for you. We love you anyway, but we love you even more when you send me questions. Question and answers Friday. It's rapid fire answering questions, okay? We enjoy it. Reminds me of my radio days. Okay, guys, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.